Breaking news tonight, Sean Diddy Combs has been arrested in a Manhattan hotel this evening after a grand jury indicted the music mogul. His attorney tells CNN that he is currently being processed. The charges are unclear as of this moment.
John Diddy arrives, the formerly untouchable music entrepreneur, who was renowned for his extravagant lifestyle, private jets, and exclusive parties, is now dealing with a reality that seems to have been lifted from a Hollywood thriller. Diddy is now imprisoned in one of the most infamous prisons in the United States, the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. Often referred to as a place of unspeakable suffering, this facility is very different from the mansions and hotel rooms he once called home. This abrupt change has rocked Diddy to his core, and the world is watching his spectacular decline play out in real time.
So Diddy, if you're just joining us here, was just arrested and taken into federal custody in New York tonight. Sources tell TMZ Homeland Security swooped into a Midtown hotel late Monday where Diddy was staying, and they arrested him.
The gravity of Diddy's current predicament, where he faces accusations that may see he has been fighting the legal system and the actual threat to his personal safety while confined for decades. His defense team claims that because of his well-known status and the seriousness of the accusations against him, he is a target both inside and outside the prison walls. Every moment that Diddy is alive puts his life in jeopardy. Mark Agnifilo, Diddy's lawyer behind bars, has called the conditions at the detention center cruel, highlighting the fact that Diddy is fighting for his life, not only his freedom.
Incredible. And, it brings into context our whole system of innocent until proven guilty. Why is he not being given bond? And, we could debate that all day long. Of all people that's unlikely to flee or get away, well, he's got the resources to flee, but he's so recognizable. And isn't he innocent until proven guilty? Well, yeah, but, we have to recognize there are degrees of innocent until proven guilty.
The harsh conditions at the Metropolitan Detention Center, or MDC, are well known. Because of the years of overcrowding, filthy conditions, and violence, convicts frequently refer to it as a place where hope goes to die. Who is used to living a life of luxury. His reality now consists of cold steel beds, thin mattresses, and bland meals served on plastic trays. He wakes up every morning staring at the walls of cinder block, which serves as a stark reminder of how far he has fallen and adds to the drama. Diddy's legal team has tried several times to get him released on bail, offering what they call an unprecedented package. They have suggested everything from a tens of millions of dollar bond to house arrest at his Miami mansion with round-the-clock surveillance. However, judges have consistently refused bail, citing issues with witness tampering and the seriousness of the accusations. If Diddy were released, it would be a devastating blow for the mogul, who is accustomed to getting his way, according to one judge, who even said that no amount of money could ensure the safety of individuals involved in the case.
Legitimate concern. No judge wants to wake up and read the headlines the next day, oh, they treated this guy special and they gave him bond, and now he's gone and he fled from justice. So that's what's in the back of most judges' minds. On the other hand, we deal with cases where clients have significant funds sometimes, and sometimes where there's money you can craft a unique solution. Years ago it was the ankle bracelet and the ankle monitor.
Within the detention facility, Diddy's problems are becoming more apparent. Reports indicate that he is struggling to cope with the harsh realities of prison life. According to sources close to him, he is paranoid and constantly fears for his safety, which has reportedly led him to refuse prison meals out of fear that someone might try to harm him. Instead, he is allegedly subsisting on packaged pastries and chips, while his legal team insists he is remaining strong and focused. Paint a distinct image. A man who is breaking under the strain.
With all the money he has and all the resources he has, they couldn't craft some solution that lets him be under some form of house arrest. And again, it sounds like special treatment, but the truth of the matter is, to incarcerate somebody like him is expensive to all of us. We're taxpayers, and he's got to have unique situations. You can't put him in general population where, everyone wants a piece of him and everyone wants to be his friend and everyone.
Diddy's worries aren't wholly baseless. Even for regular prisoners, MDC has a reputation for being a dangerous place. For someone of Diddy's status, the chances are far greater. Consultants have warned that because of his celebrity status, he is a prime target. One specialist citing the facility's history of corruption and its ties to outside interests, Larry Larvine, implied that Diddy's fears of being poisoned are not unfounded. Larvine claimed that eliminating someone like Diddy would instantly make them famous. Diddy's placement in the Special Housing Unit, often known as SHU, a division of the prison reserved for prisoners who need more protection, even though this could shield him from the public. It has a unique set of difficulties. For someone like Diddy, who thrives on attention and social interaction, the SHU's inmates are kept in complete seclusion, spending 23 hours a day in their cells with little to no human contact. This isolation is especially harsh, so it's no surprise that sources say he's already reached his breaking point.
Well, Sierra, anything's possible, right? But now this judge has an even harder time, I think, because the past judge locked him up, didn't let him out, and he's still there available for trial. If the new judge lets him out on bond and something goes wrong, and this isn't the analysis that I'm proud to make, right? We shouldn't be saying, well, judges are worried about their own skin and how they look if something bad happens.
Although Diddy's legal team has denied these allegations, there have been rumors that he was put on self-harm watch, a precaution frequently used with well-known prisoners. Insiders maintain that the stress of his circumstances is negatively affecting his mental health. According to one source, Diddy just purportedly had, even though he eventually composed himself after having a breakdown in his cell and pleading with the guards to take him to the medical unit, the incident shows how serious his situation has gotten.
Try everything. They're going to try to transfer him. They're going to try to get him out. In a normal case where it's a high-profile person or a well-funded person, the prosecution and the judge is a little bit more concerned about wrongful prosecution because people that are mad that they're being arrested for a crime they didn't commit can turn around and file for malicious prosecution.
Despite everything, Diddy's legal team is putting in a lot of effort to be ready for his trial, but they are facing a difficult road due to the charges as well as the overwhelming amount of evidence the prosecution has gathered, according to sources. Federal investigators have gathered thousands of documents, recordings, and other case-related materials. His attorneys have called the process of reviewing this evidence monumental, saying that the limitations of his incarceration have made it even more difficult. They have asked the court for more resources, such as access to a laptop, but even these minor wins do nothing outside of the courtroom to lessen the total load. With rumors and speculation abounding about everything from purported hidden recordings to whispers of additional well-known people being accused, the media frenzy around Diddy's case has reached a fever pitch. The tale has gripped. Diddy has spent decades meticulously building his image, so the public's attention is a nightmare for him both personally and professionally. His brand, which was formerly associated with glamour and success, is now clouded by scandal.
He will be sued, and I say will be because nothing has been filed yet, by at least 120 people in the next 30 days.
Even his family has been affected by the fallout. During a recent court appearance, Diddy was caught on camera mouthing the words "you okay" to one of his sons. Went viral. As the weeks stretch into months, everyone's thoughts turn to Diddy's future. His legal team is working for a speedy trial in the hopes of reducing the amount of time he spends in custody, but it's unclear how soon that might happen in the interim as the prosecution continues to build its case. The brief exchange provided a glimpse into the emotional toll this ordeal is taking on everyone involved. His children, who grew up idolizing their father, must find it devastating to see him in this state. Diddy is still there. Whether he is guilty or innocent, the man behind bars is confronting a reality he never could have envisioned for himself. The man who appeared invincible is suddenly facing his existence.
I thought Diddy would be throwing all his celebrity mates under the bus.
I mean, that could potentially be coming when it's time for court and when it's time for him to testify. But what we're seeing right now is how important public relations really are to Sean Combs. He's desperately trying to control the narrative behind bars, allowing his attorneys to do documentaries.
The legal drama surrounding Diddy Combs has turned into a whirlwind of accusations, counterclaims, and shocking revelations that are making headlines around the world. However, the story taking place inside the Metropolitan Detention Center is equally captivating. The music mogul, who was once thought to be untouchable, has been forced to face the harsh realities of incarceration, and it's exposing cracks in a persona that once appeared unbreakable. Now that the prosecution is tightening its hold and Diddy's defense team is frantically trying to come up with strategies, the stakes have never been higher. What is becoming increasingly clear every day is that this is not just a legal case, it's a battle for his legacy and survival as the trial draws near. There is increasing pressure on the team to deal with the mountain of evidence that federal investigators have allegedly found. According to insiders, the prosecution has gathered an astounding amount of material, including digital messages, recordings, and testimonies from people who say they were near the heart of Diddy's alleged activities. Working with Diddy's lawyers under the constraints of their client's incarceration is difficult enough, but the sheer volume of what they're up against has made things even more dire. According to one source familiar with the case, the evidence is so extensive that it could take months or even years to sort through.
In her civil lawsuit, Cassie said that she was the victim of abuse, assault, and at the hands of Diddy.
In the meantime, it seems like the prosecution is meticulously constructing a case, which they think will minimize space for skepticism. According to sources, they are not only depending on tangible evidence but are also bringing in witnesses who might be able to turn the tide against Diddy. It is speculated that these witnesses might include former associates, employees, and possibly members of Diddy's inner circle. Will these witnesses portray a guy who exploited his position of authority and influence for his own benefit, or will their accounts be discounted as part of a complex effort to damage his reputation?
This investigation is ongoing, and I encourage anyone with information about this case to come forward and to do it quickly.
The now famous collection of recordings known as the Freak-Off tapes, which were purportedly found during raids on Diddy's estates, is one of the most contentious pieces of evidence in the case. Point of the public's interest in the case, although the precise information contained in these cassettes is still kept under strict confidentiality, rumors have gone wild, with some people speculating that they may include damaging evidence. In a startling move, Diddy's legal team is among those who assert that the videos demonstrate their client's innocence. One member of Diddy's defense team said, but when viewed objectively, they only confirmed that no laws were broken. Diddy's lawyers recently acknowledged the existence of the tapes, claiming that they only show consensual activities and nothing more. However, they appear to have a different interpretation, hinting that the tapes may reveal a pattern of behavior that aligns with the serious charges Diddy is facing, if true. This might be a game changer for the trial as well as for how the public views the once-loved music star. What's more intriguing is the potential for additional well-known people to be implicated in rumors of celebrities' economic activity. Industry insiders and moguls have stoked rumors that this case might reveal the truth about a far bigger scandal, but for the time being, these rumors are just that, rumors.
A US judge has ruled that the rapper and producer Sean Diddy Combs will stand trial on federal trafficking and racketeering charges in May. He'll be held in prison until then. Sean Combs has pleaded not guilty to charges that he used his business empire to transport women and male workers across state lines to take part in recorded performances. If convicted, he could face a life sentence.
While Diddy's life behind bars legal battle continues to garner media attention, sources inside the Metropolitan Detention Center have described him as becoming more reclusive, which stands in sharp contrast to the larger-than-life persona he developed during his decades of fame. One former prisoner, who wished to remain anonymous, called the atmosphere oppressive, adding that it would be especially intolerable to someone like Diddy, who is accustomed to having complete control over his life.
Hey, real quickly, all that commissary stuff, he's not getting any of that because people in the SHU have an abbreviated list. So he's out of luck. No stake for him. Yeah, he is on watch. This guy thought he would have went home. All of a sudden, he didn't get bond. Remember, the first night that he was there.
Diddy is not only suffering from his seclusion, reports indicate that he is also having trouble with the physical conditions of the facility, which differ from the opulent surroundings he is used to. The detention center provides minimal comfort food, the cells are small, and insiders claim that personal privacy is virtually non-existent. Diddy has started to spend the most of his time in his cell, avoiding contact with other prisoners as much as possible. Some have even implied to Ed that he has asked to stay in solitary confinement in order to protect himself, not as a kind of punishment.
Understand that he has a shrink coming by his cell to see him several times a day. And now there's talk about putting him in, it's like a bubble. It's like a cell that has like a plexiglass wall in it where they have inmates watching you. That's actually their job, to keep an eye on the inmates that are on watch.
Nevertheless, this tactic has its own unique set of difficulties. Despite providing a certain level of safety, solitary confinement is well known for its detrimental psychological repercussions. For someone like Diddy, who thrives on attention and social engagement, extended seclusion can cause anxiety, sadness, and even hallucinations. Therefore, it is not shocking that reports of mental instability have started to circulate. According to one story, Diddy had a recent panic attack and begged guards to allow him to speak with his legal team. However, Diddy's representatives have refuted these allegations. They haven't done much to stop the rumors, and Diddy's problems are being made worse by the growing scrutiny of people close to him. According to reports, a number of his former associates have been named in lawsuits and may be asked to testify. This has sparked rumors that some people may make agreements with prosecutors in exchange for leniency during the trial, maybe turning against Diddy in the process. Diddy's legal team is definitely bracing for this eventuality, but it might seriously complicate their defense plan.
Now, to the latest on the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs. This one has so many people talking. The disgraced music mogul facing federal racketeering, conspiracy, and trafficking charges. Both the prosecution and defense teams are set to discuss the next phase of action following the indictment as investigators work to determine potential co-conspirators. But how exactly did we get here?
Beyond the confines of the detention center, Diddy's legal issues are having an impact on the entertainment sector. Brands and business associates have started to distance themselves from the troubled mogul, which might have long-term consequences for his career. His hitherto devoted following is now displaying symptoms of disarray. Although some still stand behind him, others have voiced dissatisfaction and even indignation over the accusations. Social media in particular has turned into a battlefield for thoughts using hashtags. The impact on Diddy's family, who have mostly avoided the spotlight, is perhaps the most heartbreaking aspect of both defending and denouncing Diddy. During a recent court appearance, one of Diddy's sons was seen in the gallery looking visibly upset as he watched his father engage with his defense team. This serves as a stark reminder that, even though Diddy is the one on trial, the case's ramifications go far beyond him.
I think it's to be expected, just the shock of this and the questions about what is ahead of us. I mean, how long is he going to be in custody? Is this an R. Kelly situation? Is he going to not get out for a number of years? Is he going to end up serving a long-term prison sentence from this? Or does he have a chance of beating these charges at a trial that could come, within the next 2 years?
The stress around the case is rising as the trial date draws near. Diddy's legal team has voiced their displeasure with the delays, claiming that their client is entitled to a swift and fair trial. "We are prepared to make our case one day." In a recent interview, one of his lawyers stated that it gets more difficult to guarantee that justice is done the longer this goes on. Prosecutors, however, appear happy to take their time because they think that a methodical approach will produce strong results. For the time being, though, all eyes are on the courtroom where Diddy and the legal system are engaged in a real-time battle. The stakes are extremely high for Diddy and everyone involved in this case, regardless of whether he is found guilty or exonerated of all charges. One thing is certain, though, Sean Diddy Combs' story is far from over. As new information comes to light and the trial progresses, the world will be watching to see how this chapter turns out. One of music's most recognizable figures' lives will either come to an end or perhaps start over.
So yesterday, Monday, Diddy celebrated his 55th birthday, but this year was a lot different. It was no Diddy parties. It was none of that. None of that stuff. Well, happily so, I guess, right now. But anyway, so this is his first birthday behind bars.
The world watches anxiously as Diddy's future is in jeopardy. But what do you think? Is this an instance of a superstar being unfairly singled out? Or is there more to the tale than meets the eye? And how will Diddy's legacy fare in the face of the accusations?